Hey everyone, it's Wasabi and today we are taking a look at the Wooting TenZ 80HE Takeover. Now quick practical note first, this TenZ version is NC only, so if you're an ISO user, this one isn't for you. To be completely honest, how I feel about this collab is super lukewarm. It really just looks like a black Wooting 80HE with replica PBT fans crosshair keycaps that have a font size that to me doesn't pair well with the thickness of the borders of the case. It really does look like there is too much blank space. Anyway, today's video isn't about is the 80HE good or not, because everyone should already know how brilliant the 80HE is by now. Today is about what did TenZ change for this collab. Now quick reminder for anyone new, the standard Wooting 80HE is basically one of the best Hall effect gaming keyboards that you can buy right now. You get a full suite of Hall effect features plus analog input, and it all runs through Wootility, which is easily the best web-based keyboard software. And if you look at what pros are using in professional CS2 and Fortnite, 80HE is the winner, and for Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege, it is the 60HE Plus and more recently the 60HE V2. Okay, so the design first, it's basically a black keyboard with red accents through the keycaps, switches, and even the cable. The cable right here, so you see the red details over here, red details of the keycaps, and you got the red stamp for the lacquer TikkenZ switches, and that is pretty much it. So this one will definitely look super clean with a full dark setup, but it's also so basic that if you're just standing a few steps away from your desk, it honestly just looks like a regular black Wooting 80HE. Now there is also a translucent side detail that gives it a subtle glow. Can you see the red glow? It is super dim. Oh my god, even I can't see the red glow. Wait, hang on a second, let me crank up the brightness. Okay, so the brightness was at 44%. Now let's try 100. Can you see that? I think it's a little more visible here. And the last bit of the design is right here on the back. Yeah, so that is pretty much the outer design of this keyboard. So this is what the TenZ 80HE looks like next to the Ghost 80HE. And I don't want to be rude, but the Ghost 80HE looks a lot more interesting than this one. The keycaps. The standard 80HE pre-built comes with OEM profile shine-through PBTs. This TenZ 80HE comes with cherry profile die-sub PBT with hiragana sub-legends. So if you care about the vibe and a more custom keyboard look, this one does that. But if you want bright legends at night or you want to get more out of the lighting effects, the standard shine-through keycaps are still the better choice. You also have a foam-filled spacebar. This basically thickens the sound of the spacebar, and you know the spacebar is usually the part of any keyboard that sounds the most plasticky, so the foam really does help with that. And yes, it's also the easiest DIY mod that you can ever do to a keyboard, but I guess it's still nice that it's done out of the box. Now the TenZ TikkenZ switches. These are basically lacquer TikkenZ switches with a lighter spring and collab colors. On paper, the initial force and end force are 30 and 45, and compared to the regular lacquer TikkenZ switches, those are 42 and 54. So the main thing is that at this point in time, Wooting does not sell the light version of the lacquer TikkenZ as a standalone pack just yet. So if you're interested in lacquer TikkenZ switches and you want the lighter feel, this collab is currently the only out-of-the-box way to get it. The next thing is that this TenZ 80HE has an FR4 plate. The standard 80HE uses a polycarbonate plate, so the FR4 is a bit stiffer by nature, so the board feels a little more defined, especially on rapid tapping. And honestly, I prefer keyboards that are stiffer for gaming, so this is pretty nice for me. But to be clear, the polycarbonate plate on the standard 80HE is great for gaming, and I actually think that one is better to buy for most people because it's more comfortable to type on for long hours. So the TenZ edition having the FR4 plate makes it feel a bit more tuned towards gaming specifically. And the last thing to highlight is that the TenZ settings are preloaded into the TenZ 80HE. So out of the box, you already have his actuation points, rapid trigger sensitivity, rapid snappy, and even the RGB setup applied. Now here's the very important thing that everyone should know. Any Wooting keyboard can import TenZ's settings. You can find his profile on the Wooting website, and they also show up on prosettings.net. So please do not buy the TenZ keyboard just for the settings, buy it for the physical keyboard build. Now here's a quick sound test to give you a better idea of how this keyboard sounds, and I've also added in a sound test of the regular PCR ABS 80HE with regular lacquer TikkenZ switches installed. Now, to be completely honest, and this is coming from someone who's had the 80HE since launch, this collab version doesn't feel special at all. It does sound alright though. For the physical experience, at most you'll feel lighter keys to press on compared to regular lacquer TikkenZ, and a slightly stiffer feel when the keys bottom out. For me, I feel like these switches are a tad bit too light. I mean, on days when I'm fully focused and have total concentration, they are very quick to press. But for most other days when I just want to play for the fun of playing, I very frequently mispress on my keys, and that really screws up my movement. And that is completely a me problem, but something for you guys to think about, because if not, I would recommend to add on a pack of regular lacquer TikkenZ switches if you are set on this version of the 80HE. Now, things like the FR4 plate, the light lacquer TikkenZ switches, and even the spacebar foam, they're nice, but they also feel like very basic things that you can mod yourself. So really, I feel like what you're getting from this collab is a bit of convenience. Now, final thoughts, this is a keyboard that I feel very up and down about. And let me take you through it. So when I first saw the reveal, it was very mid. All I could think about was, is that all that they're giving? Then you watch the BTS videos and the promotion videos, which is fun, but the product and its USPs still felt very lukewarm. And then when I got it and took it out of the box, it looks far from what you would expect from a collab product from an awesome brand like Wooting. And my expectations were not very high to begin with, by the way. I know it's a plastic build and I appreciate plastic builds very much, but for some reason, it looks so cheap for the price. But, you know, hey, this is his collab with Wooting and this is his ideal keyboard and style that he likes, so okay, that's fine. But I gotta say that this really doesn't come off like a $220 keyboard. If I had to guess the price by the looks, I would say $175. And just FYI, the Wooting 80HE base pre-built is $199.99. So you're basically paying $20 more for some mods and a very basic theme. And so who should buy this keyboard? Well, honestly, this is one for TenZ fans. If you like him, owning something that he had input on is probably the main appeal of this keyboard. But that said, the Wooting 80HE isn't cheap, and a collab with Wooting is a once in a long time opportunity. I just wish that his fans got something nicer to own, you know? Even if it meant paying a little more, at least they can have something very special that is well worth keeping. Nothing against TenZ, I don't know the guy personally, but this collab is very underwhelming. Unfortunately, this one is far from the quality and consumer value of the Optimum Wooting collab, even though that one is close to pure minimalism. Anyway, if you are still set on ordering a TenZ 80HE or any other Wooting products, you can use my link in the description below. It gives me a very small commission at no extra cost to you, and it goes straight back into supporting my channel, the gear, the products, the production, and basically keeping this thing going. It is my work and I appreciate all the support. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support my channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.